Hello and welcome back to Luke's Getting Started Guide. The building of my Getting Started Guide. Well, there we go. That was my attempt at a cool start and absolutely failed it. But hey, it was fun. Okay, so the place that I left off was I realized that some computers, including my own, basically cycle through IP addresses. So I can't set the IP on the model here because that constantly changes. So mine might be like, I don't know, some random number, and then one, it might be this number for like 3 requests, and then it's going to change to something else because I'm behind a router or something. I don't fully understand it, but for some reason, the router seems to cycle my public IP address. So my new strategy is to use a cookie, and the way that I'm going to be doing that is if I go into, oh gosh, I've got so much crap going on now. Identify by cookie middleware. What we do here is we're checking if the request has a cookie that is UUID. Okay, so just basically a unique user ID. I think it means unique unit ID actually, but you know what, let's look that up. UUID stands for universally unique identifiers. Okay, oh, of course. So a UID is something that only belongs to one type of object, whereas UUID is unique amongst multiple objects. So it's like super duper unique. Anyway, that's not the point. So, in fact, I probably don't have to do a UUID in that case. I could probably just do a UID. I'm pretty sure that's an option here on string. It isn't. All right, let's just stick with that. It totally doesn't matter. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change IP all over the application to UUID instead. So let's go ahead and just find in this folder anything that is UID and change it, oh sorry, not UID, IP, and then change it to UUID. So scopes to request IP model, let's change IP there to UUID, and let's rename this. Actually, no, I'm going to have to rename that file itself. And here it is here. Let's change that to UUID. I know this isn't the funnest stuff to watch, but hey, that is the point of this series. This is just me doing my thing. Building stuff. All right, so where else have we got IP? In fact, we can look for any occurrence of that and pretty safely replace that with UUID. So let's go replace all there. Nice, and let's look for everything else that's IP. Requesters IP scope. So how about requesters UUID scope? And now let's find that that model by searching for requesters IP scope, and let's change this to requesters UUID scope. Sweet, what else we got? I'm going to change IP all over the place. Make sure that when I'm selecting that, I'm making it case sensitive, so that I can go UUID. Whoop. So the model is then going to have a unique unit ID or whatever you want to call it, and then UUID there. Yep, sweet. What else we got? I think we got rid of this guard. I don't think it's used anymore. Auth service provider. Let's have a look for IP guard. I don't. Auth extend. No, I'm pretty sure I'm not using that anymore. We're not doing any sort of authentication in this application anymore, so I can get rid of that. We're basically just filtering by the UUID. So what else we got here? We've also got the IP guard. And I think that's literally the thing that I just deleted. Yep, so there it is there. Probably get rid of these two. Would I want to get rid of it? Or has it got to do with the examples? Yeah, let's just get rid of these two. And we're almost done. So let's look for IP again. request IP. Yeah, now we want to keep that because that's related to the rate limiter. And this will change from IP to UUID. I think that's it. Now, the other thing, we want to look at sort of top level, so not app, but in the entire project, because we're going to find migrations as well. But unfortunately, this is going to like dive into our compose file, and so we're going to end up with a whole bunch of I think examples of IP. All right, so we've got a lot of factories. Oh man, getting rid of this kind of stuff takes time. So how about we change this to IP as a string, narrow it down a bit, and I might be able to change this all over the place. Yep, it looks like to UUID. What's this one here? Except for that. Oh, bugger, that kind of ruins it. If I get rid of that, let's change that to UUID like this. I think I can just go like replace all the way down. Yep. And I'll quickly just eyeball it. Yep. 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 Cool. I'm cool with that. And let's go back to IP again and start culling. Yeah, we don't really. In fact, I think I can say files.exclude, and let's say like vendor. Can I exclude vendor? Is that going to work? I don't know. So we got, let's get rid of that. Route service provider. Okay, we've got some validation rules here. Okay, so that's Laravel related stuff. It's completely unrelated. Unrelated. Looks like we're almost done. Unrelated. Yeah, that's in the yeah, unrelated. Sci-fi, yeah, unrelated. And that's the rate limiter one we saw before. README. Yep, okay, cool. Looks like I've got everything in the application. Now we should be able to say art db wipe. Now let's migrate the database. And let's just check if the factories work. So art db seed. Okay, looks like that works successfully. So now if we open up Postman again and send this request through, looks like that's still working, and we'll come in here. Yeah, save and overwrite, that's fine. And let's hit that test endpoint. Okay, so we've hit some sort of an error here. Can I just like click this and have it open up in my? No, that would be nice if it did, but it doesn't. Don't save. All right, so it looks like first of all, this doesn't have permission, so I can't actually see what the error is. But I've actually got Laravel Ray down here telling me the error. I'll set the permissions on that in a second. Crap, did I get rid of something I shouldn't have? We might have to run like composer dump after we deleted a few files and did stuff like that. So let's say composer dump and see if that works. Okay, it did. So what happens if we run this again? All right, so we should probably enable permissions on this. And gosh, to be honest, I can't even remember the correct way to do this. I think I want to say like ch own who's going to be running that. So that would be Luke www-data. We probably want to we don't want to do that recursive. Let's just try that for now. Laravel.log. Whack in my password there. It should definitely exist because I literally just got that error then. But what we can probably do is just change this to tilde. All right, for some reason it worked that time. So let's go ahead and run this again and see if it works. All right, sweet. Request UUID does not exist. Where's that happening? Scopes to request UUID model, all right? Scopes to request UUID model. Right, okay. In the console, I wonder if we will be able to deal with cookies in the console. Probably not. Shit, so I'm going to have to like figure out a way to do this again. How about we just say if we're in the console, we use the same UUID all the time there. So I'll just like generate a random one here. Let's say art tinker, and we'll say string UUID, and I'm just going to grab that one. So whenever we're using the console, the data is always going to be the same because it will be equal to that. Yep, I think that's a good idea. It just means that when I'm experimenting on the back end here, so we say art tinker, and we say like to do list factory create. Now let's say to do list all. It looks like it just gives me everything anyway, probably because of the scopes. But when I created that one, it should have made it this unique user UUID. So let's just have a look up here. All right, so this is being done with a factory. So how about we say to do list factory and all the IP related stuff. Okay, I see. It's basically generating off of one of these random things from a list. But what we can actually do now is make this a list of actual unique IDs. This is good because we'll get some really nice varied data here. So let's say string UUID and basically just generate a few of these. And this should probably be sitting in a central place. I will copy that one as well. All right, let's do another one. And for those of you just joining, you probably have no idea what I'm doing here. You know, this is something that kind of connects to my prior streams. But basically what I'm doing is I'm making it so that I'm making an API that you don't need to log in or authenticate with. Basically, as soon as you send a request, you will be identified with a cookie. It'll generate a cookie for you. And if you then send that cookie back on the next request, then it knows what your data is. So all the data within this API is connected to a cookie, and it means that someone doesn't need to log in, authenticate, or anything like that to start testing and playing around with this API. So yeah, it's kind of a cool concept that I've been messing around with. So, I mean, I could copy paste this, but like this, should I be duplicating this code? I shouldn't be, but I don't think it's a big deal right now. We'll probably deal with that in the future. So let's go factories. I really want to just forge ahead here. So let's paste that in there. This is all going to be the same code now. And there's this one too. That one. And this one. Now what I might do as well is I'll come back here. Let's follow this pattern of having the UUID as the last thing in the list. So save that. And cool, I think that's it. Let's say art tinker, run this again, to-do list factory create, and there we go. We get that UUID, and it should be one of the ones here, and it is. And every now and then we'll get a different UUID. So that one's different, but sometimes you're going to get the same one. So for example, that one there is the same as this one here, which is really cool because it gives us like example data as if there were 3 users that have been playing around with this API. So that's really cool. I'm happy with all of that. What next? We can get out of that. This is just me doing a bit of exploration, a bit of learning. What next? So I think that should be working now. What I might do is I'm going to hook back into our server here. There we go. I've got it there. Oh crap! That looks like the IP, the internal IP. So that's not going to work. So let me just jump into Forge. I'm going to do this on my bottom screen. I'll do it up here. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to do anything sensitive. API.quasarcast.com. And if I go to sites for this, here it is here. And this is the public IP address. So let's go into there. And then I should be able to, oh, seriously? Wait a second. Yeah, sweet. Now I should be able to cd into to-do-API. Yep, there it is. Now I should be able to say art db wipe. No, just do the whole PHP Artisan thing. db wipe, and it's going to say I'm in production, and I'm going to say yes. And now I'm going to say art. Whoops. PHP Artisan Migrate. Yes, I'm in production. I understand. Very cool. So, oh, actually, I didn't even push my code. Gosh, that was a bit silly of me. Git add dot git commit message. Use UUIDs instead of hello, Adwidia. Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't say your name. Adwia? I'm going to get really good at pronouncing names by doing these live streams because I get a whole bunch of people all over the world, which is awesome. Anyway, use UUIDs instead of IP to identify users. Let's go with that. So we can push that through now. And once that's pushed, Laravel Forge is automatically going to pick that up. So check this out. We'll give it a second, and then it's going to start deploying that code. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Why is it not deploying yet? What have I done wrong here? Oh, I'm in the wrong place. I should be on the to-do one. So let's go back here. Let's try back again. It's probably pushed by now. We actually want to go to to-do API. Did I accidentally wipe the wrong database? No, I didn't. Gosh, that would have been a catastrophe. All right, so let's jump back here. I think that just got deployed. So let's say art db wipe, and let's go ahead and PHP artisan db wipe. Yes, PHP artisan migrate. Yes. Nice. Now we can test if our API is going to work, and I reckon it might. So if I go to do API, yeah, so there it is there. I should get nothing here on my first request. In fact, this is going to be better to test with Postman. So we can change that from .test to .com in create and .com as well. And by the way, anybody watching this, you can actually test this as well because this is all in production. So if we go ahead and try and create a to-do list now, that's worked. And if I go to get here, this might not work because I don't know if those cookies are going to persist. Looks like it did. Are those cookies being shared across here though? Yeah, they are. Hey, Mancle Stream. Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, the cool thing about streaming is like you'll get a few people that you can talk to live on the spot. But then people will watch it at a later date. Like I actually get quite a few people watching. I can't believe it. Like for some reason, people will come back and watch me like, you know, muddling around, even though I've got cleaner videos as well, which are like, you know, beautifully cut, and I painstakingly make sure that they're, you know, they're not wasting people's time and all that kind of stuff. Yes, but still people seem to like watching the live stream. So, hey, that's like, you know, people like what they like. Yeah, so anyway. So let's come back here and take a look again and see if that cookie is changing. So 768, and it ends with BC8. Let's send that again. Come in here. 768, BC8. Okay, so now what about on create? Maybe these cookies aren't being shared properly because I'm using Postman. 768, BC8. All right, in that case, I would expect that it would work. My guess would be it might not be fetching it from the database properly. So how about we change this back to test, and then we have a play around and actually look into the database and see what's going on. All right, so let's go artdb, wipe that database clean. And now we might say art tinker. And if I say to-do list all, oh, I mustn't have migrated. Oh, no, I did not. To-do list all. Okay, so that gives me nothing, which is what I would expect. Actually, I joined late. What do you... All right, so it's kind of hard to explain what I'm up to, but I'll do my best to explain what I'm up to. Basically, I'm creating a getting started guide for Quasar to allow people to very quickly get up and running with Quasar. The problem is, with when you're building a getting started guide, you always end up needing a backend. But if you're covering a front-end framework, everybody wants to use a different backend. I like using Laravel. Some people like using Firebase, and then you've got GraphQL, and then you've got like all these, different node type ones like Express and whatever. So I thought, hey, it would be a really cool idea if I had my own freely available API that people could use without any hassle. So they don't need to install anything for this backend API. It's available for free on the web, and they can use that API to follow along with my tutorial, right? And I'll give you an example of that. I got this idea from Typicode. Oh, my dogs are barking. Oi, Panda, chilled out. Yeah, so if you go to jasonplaceholder.typicode.com, they got this really cool website that allows you to very quickly have an example API, right, that you can play around with. So I wanted to create something like this, but more versatile and something that is specifically for the tutorial that I am creating. So that rather than using something like typicode.com, or rather than using a generator tool that doesn't give me the flexibility I need, I decided, hey, what if we make an API that sends the user a cookie, a randomly generated cookie, and then identifies that user with that cookie in the next few requests, like in subsequent requests. And that way, I can give you the experience as if you are a unique user using that API. I'm not sure I'm explaining this very well, but it means that when I'm going through the getting started guide, all they have to do is say, for example, api-todo.quasarcast.com, because that'll be the address for it, /to-do_list. All right, and you can make a GET request to that. You can make a POST request to that. You can make a patch request. I've even got a search request, like all of these types of requests that you will then be able to do, and it will be an actual live API that you can use. And because of the cookies that I'm using, it will be scoped to the user that is making that request, to the person making that request. So basically right now I've already built out this API, and I'm just building it out now so that I'm building out the sort of cookie part so that it actually works okay. So not sure I explained that very well, but I can probably explain it better with an example, which you'll see soon when I actually get it working. So let's come here and send a request to to-do list. My env is my favorite stack. MySQL, not MongoDB. Firestore is my document DB of choice. Yeah, Firestore is does Quasar work with Vue 3? Yes and no. So currently Quasar Beta works with Vue 3, and the new version is just about to be released. Like, it is literally just around the corner. It's super exciting. So if you go to quasar.dev and Quasar version 2 beta, the beta is actually super stable. It's just there's a few things they need to do, like upgrading to the new version of Webpack, which is sort of still being stabilized at the moment. Oh, by the way, that's my upgrade guide for anyone who needs to upgrade. Yeah, so we're using Vue 3 with the new Quasar under the hood, which is freaking amazing. Like, I can't believe they upgraded this entire framework to Vue 3 so quickly. Blows my mind. Anyway, all right, let's get back to this and see if I can get it to work. So that should have set a cookie. In fact, let's go ahead and delete all of these cookies so we can kind of start from scratch here. I want to see if it's all working okay. So we'll send that through. We should get a new cookie. All right, so there's our cookie. Starts with 1B4, ends with 1CE. If I send that again, I should end up with the same cookie. 1B4, 1CE. Okay, so that's good. Now, if I go to my GET request, this is what didn't seem to be working. So I should now be getting my to-do list that I just created, and it should be able to find them using this cookie. But it is not, and that's what I'm going to be trying to figure out and debug right now. Whoa, I'm getting a whole bunch of stuff in my debugger here. So, gosh, I don't even know the best way to debug this, to be honest. How about we go into to-do list all, just to check that it went in okay. 4EA. All right, so they do look different to me. In fact, let's see if I can look at this in the database. What's my database tool I'm using these days? It keeps changing. MySQL Workbench. No, I want to use Table Plus because it's cross-platform. So I'm trying to get used to using Table Plus so that yeah, it's just easier to install and it's better for most people. It's just a better user experience. So to do API, quasarcast.test. Yeah, this is the one. So let's just refresh that to make sure the tables are right. And if I go into to-do lists, here it is here. It looks like it is not using that cookie. So notice that my UIDs there are not correct. Oh, Quasar does use MDI out of the box. You can, more material design out of the box. Is that what you mean by MDI? MDI icons or material design? What's the I in MDI? I thought material design was just MD. MDI stands for, oh, that'd be right. I'm getting friggin' stock related stuff now. I don't know. You have to let me know what you mean by that. Yeah, okay, so out of the box, it actually uses, it does not use MDI. I use MDI, but I always change it to MDI because I love this icon list. Out of the box, by default, I think it gives you the default material design. In fact, I know that it gives you this. So they're like the kind of official material design icons. However, it's so easy to change. I just go to quasar.conf. Oh, sorry, this is in the wrong folder. But I just go to quasar.conf, and you can change the icon set there like super easily. So let's come back here to Postman. And just quickly send that request again. Check the cookies here. 1B4 is what I'm getting behind the scenes. So how about we jump into that middleware that I created. Here it is here. So if it has a UUID, which it should, I'm going to use Laravel Ray to basically spit out that UUID by saying request, to jump in here, request, butterfingers, cookie UUID. So let's go ahead and see if that's working for us behind the scenes. Can I make that sticky? Yeah, it looks like I can. We'll send that again. So 1B4, C1CE, send that again. All right, so that's working. The cookie is being set. Hey, Prashant, how you doing? Good to see you again. All right, so that's being set correctly, and it's passing that on. So where is the part where I then scope things? Scopes to request UUID model. Model, UUID. Oh, that's been hard-coded. No, but that's only if it's running in the console. And that's for creating. So let's go to one of our models and see what they're implementing there. How about we say to-do list .php. Scopes to request. I think that's the file that I was just in. Oh, no, this is if we're not running in console. Oh, okay, so that should definitely not be hard-coded. If the app is not running in the console, then the UUID should be equal to request cookie, or is it like get cookie? Oh, we can't get the request that way. I have to get it using the helper. Something about a cookie. Yeah, cookie UUID. So let's see if that works. And while I'm at it, I might just use Ray to spit that. Sorry, tickle in my throat. And we'll say in scope here and spit that out just to check. And now if we open up Postman and open up Ray, I'm just going to clear all of that, send that through. That didn't get touched. That should be getting touched. Okay, no, this is only if we're creating. Okay, that should be the right code anyway for if we're creating. But okay, so this is the part here. If we're not running in console, then we want to use the requesters UUID scope. So let's jump into there. The problem might be here. If the app is not running in the console, then get the cookie, the UUID cookie out of the request. That should work, I'd imagine. So how about we dump that with Ray and see what we get out of here. And I'll say in here in scope so that I know where I'm at there. So let's open up Passport again, run that again. In scope, I'll just run this again. And it's saying 1B4, AC, 1CE, 1B4, 1CE. So let's check that in the cookies. All right, so that looks like the scope should be working as well. Maybe the UUID is too long and it's not fitting, so it's being truncated. That's the other thing that I would be guessing. So how about we go back into the database and check that we are getting the full UUID. Oh, actually, you know what? It would be related to that piece of code that I just fixed here, because this was being hard-coded for some reason. I don't know. I must have done that in the past. So now that that's fixed, when we create it, I think it's going to have the correct UUID now. So let's create one, jump into here. Ha! It's working! Yes! And if we send that a few more times. So now, and by the way, you'll be able to test this when I push it in a second, anybody who's watching. Now, every time I create it, it shows up here in the list. However, if I'm a new person, if I'm a different user, or I clear all of my cookies, so if I clear that like that, and then send that again, okay. What's this? Why would I be hitting that? That's confusing to me. Insert into... Oh, weird. When I make that request for the first time, it looks like I'm getting issues. So let's jump into the middleware and have a look at what happens when we make the request for the first time. We want to return the response. So basically that will be skipped. We will set the unique user ID. So it looks like when I call next there, this part is being skipped. So, So the response is equal to... So it looks like I might have to set the cookie in a different way. And I think I might have read this in a post somewhere, like cookie. And there's something for like setting a cookie or something like that. Something about a queue, like adding it to the queue. Get a queued cookie. Or queue a cookie. Man, I had some nuts earlier, and they are sticking in the back of my throat. That sounded really bad. So then we can make the forever cookie like this. And I think that's how we do it. Is this going to tell me the API of a whole yeah, the name of the cookie and then the value of the cookie. I think I might be able to do it that way and then return the response. And then I probably don't need this code anymore. I think that's the way I'm supposed to do it now. Oh man, this might take a little bit of playing around, but that's all right. We'll keep at it and then we'll eventually get it. So what I want to do is remove those cookies so that I can hit that error again. And let's send this off. No, once again, we can't actually see the cookie here. So what happens if I say Ray and then response cookie, like what do I do here? Get cookies or something? I don't really know much about dealing with responses in middleware, so I might have to do a little bit of digging here in the Laravel docs. No, we'll look up middleware response. Middleware and responses. Of course, a middleware can perform tasks before or after blah, 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 blah. For example, the following middleware would perform some tasks before the request is handled by the application. However, this middleware would perform its task after the request is handled by the application. After middleware, what's the difference? No, okay, so it looks like that's what they're doing. They're saying He's saying here, if you have table structure and endpoints final, write it down in Markdown file. I think I will finish Express REST API with JWT token, maybe in another version. Choose the best out of it. What is that? If you have table structure and endpoint final. Oh, you wanna know what the structure is? Oh, yeah, I guess I could put it in a Markdown file. I could probably just do that quickly for you now. Just trying to think, what's the fastest way that I could get that? Well, I know where everything is sitting. It's all sitting. Actually, you know what? You could find the structure anyway. In a second. Let me copy all of that and paste that in the chat. Oh man, it's not going to let me paste it properly when I do it that way. If I do that and then copy it, let's see if I can paste that. Oh man, this chat doesn't give you much control. I'll just paste them in one at a time. So we got users, we got comments, we got to-do underscore lists, and we got to-dos. So, oh, did I get projects? No, I didn't. Projects. When this is live, and it is live, but I'm not sure it'll work at the moment because it's a bit buggy. By hitting those endpoints, you'll be able to see what the structure looks like. Just publish it on GitHub. We'll build REST API. Cool. All right. Need to get back to what I was at. So, yeah, that's right. We're trying to find out how responses work. So, the response is equal to next and then the request. That's how I get the response. Okay. So, this already has the cookie, so I don't need to deal with any cookie-related stuff there. So let's go back to what I had before. Response is equal to that. That makes sense to me. We've generated a new unique user ID. And then we're saying this is with the cookie. So it's doing the response. However, I need to change the request as well, I believe. I'm pretty sure that I actually need to do something like this. Request like cookie or something. Is there anything I can do with the cookie? Like add a cookie to the request? Like sort of dummy added on? So that'll retrieve a cookie. I guess this is kind of a weird thing that you would do. You know, it'd be weird for you to add a cookie to the request that's coming in. So let's just have a look at this. Laravel add cookie to request. It's kind of a nuts concept. Cookies, retrieve a cookie, attaching a new cookie to a response. You may also queue a cookie to be added to the outgoing response even before that response has been created. Yeah, okay, and honestly, that's probably a better way to do it. Yeah, so the problem that I'm running into here is that I'm trying to, if they don't have a cookie already set, I'm basically sending that cookie back in the response, okay, and that's working. However, internally, I'm checking the request for that cookie. But of course, the request doesn't actually have that cookie because the person who sent the request in the first place hasn't got it yet. So, oh gosh, this is a mind screw. I basically need to find a way to sort of like store this unique ID for that initial response. Man, this starts getting messy, doesn't it? Do you have Discord channels separate? I saw you in team list of Quasar. Yeah, you can get me on Discord on LDBold, so you can always feel free to hit me up there. All right, so I need to think through this problem. It's always hard under pressure when you're on a stream because this is the kind of thing where I'd like sit down for ages and try to figure it out. So enjoy listening to me screw around with my brain and try and figure out how I'm going to do this. So what I would like to do is add it to the request, even though that feels a little bit funky to me. I'm going to see if I can do it anyway. How to set and get cookie in Laravel. So what about Laravel set cookie on request? The other thing I could possibly do is save it with something like Redis. It's I don't know, that feels weird to me. Hmm. That's not what I'm looking for. So maybe maybe adding it onto the queue means that I can actually view it. So let's try that. Request has cookie. Yeah, it looks like this guy's trying to do a similar thing to me. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and add it onto the queue and then just have a little play around with with what that looks like. So we want to see something about cookies and them on the queue. I thought it was sitting in here. No. Let's go to responses. Responses. Cookies. Attach cookies to response. No, I want to look up cookies. Something to do with queuing, I think it was. No, it's not there. Here it is. So this is how we add a cookie onto the queue. So let's see if we can recreate this code using that. And then if that still works, we can experiment with doing this, with getting it out of the queue then. And this seems like the more correct way of doing it rather than attaching it to the request, because you probably don't want to mess with the request that's coming into your application. You do, like, or at least you don't want to mess with the cookies, because then it doesn't give an honest look at what the request was. So I think the way I can do this is say, so how does he do it? He's got, I want to create, man, my throat is going nuts. Name value minutes. I want to make it a forever cookie though. And I think I can actually do that by saying like cookie forever. Can I just pass that directly through? Cookie queue. Parameters. Oh, this is a facade. Bugger. And we'll make this a forever cookie that says UID, unique user ID, unique or whatever it's called. And I don't think I actually need to do anything with the response here. And then we can set the value of that cookie as the second argument. Okay. I think that's all I need to do. And let's check if that works now. So once again, we're going to clear these. Oh, we don't have any cookies. So let's send that again. Argument 1 response must be of type response. Okay, so you do need to return the response here. So I can do that. I can just return next. So the first one fails. The second one shouldn't fail, but it is. So it looks like adding the cookie to the queue that way is not working. All right, so you need to add, so you do still need to add the cookie on like that. So maybe what I had before is actually going to work fine, but I need to find a way to pull cookies from the current response. Yeah, so let's see if we can do that. Response with cookies. So I think that's the code that was working before. Let's run that again. It fails, but then it should work because we now have a cookie. But I'm going to wipe this. And now if I jump back into scopes to request, this is the part where we try and get the cookie. So basically, I want to try and get the cookie in a different way. So I'm going to see if I can say Ray, and I think there's a request helper. No, response helper. RES response. Return a new response from the application. Is there a way I can look at the current, like, built-up response, though? I don't know. Like, a way I can look at the cookie. Get queued cookies. Okay, this is starting to look right. So let's see if we can smash that out with Ray. Open a new thing here. Oh, looks like this is freaking out. Yeah. So we're going to passport. I've already cleared my cookies. Let's send that through. We'll get an error, but in Ray, if I come up here, bugger, we're not getting any queued cookies. Ah, crap. So let's come back here and try doing it that way again. Cookie. We're going to queue a cookie, and that cookie is going to be a new cookie, but we'll give it a name first, UUID, and then I think I do this, cookie, and it's going to be a forever cookie. Oh, I put in the name there, so maybe I can just do it like that. And then do I put the value in there? Shit, I really don't understand this API very well. Oh, no, so that's where the value goes in there. So let's say $UUID. And let's see if that gives me something in the queue. Get out of that, send this through again. Good, we get the error. And let's open up Ray. Man, this is running really slow. Ray is really struggling with this. Let's get rid of that and try one more time, but I'm pretty sure that this is also not working. Yeah, man, so how do I add a cookie to the queue? Must be doing something wrong. So let's say, go back to the API that talks about the queue. How about we just try doing it this way for now, but I want to do a forever cookie. How did I do that? Okay, so they did it like this. The name of the cookie, UUID. The value of the cookie is this. And minutes for now. Let's just make it like something stupid long. And let's try that. Honestly, they probably don't need to be long-lived cookies. All right, so we come back to passport. We'll come into Ray. Get rid of everything. Send that through. And then once again, see if it works. No. Let's go into our kernel and have a look at the order of things here. So it goes through all of this before it hits the route, identified by cookie. It sees that it doesn't have the cookie, and therefore it adds that cookie to the queue. So then I end up in here. Is there a way I can get rid of that scope part? The other thing I'm logging with Ray? No. So then in here, I should be able to say get queued cookies, get the cookies which have been queued for the next request. To me, that should then send me the UUID cookie that I just created. I'm not sure why that doesn't work. Let's just clear it and try it again. Otherwise, I'll move on to trying to find another solution. Send that through. Open up Ray. Nah, once again, we're getting nothing there. All right, let's keep trying. What else can I try? So cookie queue, I'm pretty confident. Queue a cookie to send with the next response. Okay, so that's saying with the next response. By the way, if I run that... no. So if that's with the next response, and this is saying that it gives me the cookie in the next request, get the cookies which have been queued for the next request. Maybe that is not the method that I'm looking for. We could just try get on that cookie. We could say queue, or we could say queued. All right, so let's just try a few things in this ID. In this API, and see what we end up with. So there's that, and by the way, I'm getting sick of that other Ray thing, Ray message that I accidentally left somewhere. So let's get rid of that, so that it doesn't cramp our style. So what else have we got here? We can look at queued. I think the first one was queue. No, that's the one that actually queues it. So let's go queued. Oh, there's another one I wanted to look. And let's just try get and see what I get there. All right, so come back up here, clear them cookies, and try this again. Open up Ray. Send that through. Whoops. Null and null. Man! Okay, that's UUID. Let's come back here. UUID. Check that I'm using it right. Cookie queue. And if we go back to the docs here, it's cookie queue. We got the name of the cookie, the value of the cookie, and then how many minutes. I think by default, all of the cookie related stuff is going to look at the request, look for cookies in the request, not the stuff that is queued up in the response. All right, so what else can we do? How about we say here, Ray, response. No, this is for making a response, I'm pretty sure. So it looks like that strategy is not going to work. That's all right, I'm just gonna have to accept that. And basically what I want to do though, so what I want to do here is I want to say, hey, can I just store some information in this request? And then basically discard that information. So how do I do that? I think we've always got Laravel's, what are they? Can I put something in the session maybe? I feel like this should be easier. There should be a... There should be an easy way. Maybe I could add like add a header to the request. That feels a bit janky, but I could do it. So I could say like request, what have we got here? So this is all for retrieving cookies. Header. So how about this? How about something like, I might stick with this here and keep looking through this. Set cookie. If the request has a cookie, yeah, else. Hmm. Oh well, people are going to love this series when it's finished, though. So I just need to keep at it. It's going to be worth it in the end. What's it called? When you sort of store stuff in memory. I can't even remember now. Cache. Oh gosh, I couldn't even remember the word cache. What's the cache driver that we get by default? Cache driver is file by default. But I want to put something. I want to like have a look at the current request. So can I like somehow cache something to the current request? I don't know. Let's have a look at Laravel set request header. I feel like I've done this in the past, so it should be possible. I wonder if I can go request cookies set. Request cookies. Holy crap, this might be it. So the key is going to be UUID. Alright, so let's try that and see if that works. So we'll get rid of this cookie. Open up Ray. What's going on here? Okay, yeah, that's the violation. That makes sense. Oh, nothing's being logged at all. So let's try and find the cookies on the request. Back in here by saying Ray. And then request cookies. Let's see what we get out of that. Yeah, let's see what we get out of that. Oh, let's just exit this. I'm going to keep at it until I figure it out. That's how it goes in the coding world. Okay, apparently method cookies does not exist. How about we call it like that? Once again, remove everything. Ray, start afresh. What I might actually do here is keep that on top, since we seem to be doing this a lot. Make it a lot smaller. Just sort of like stick it down there. Alright, I might want to make it a bit smaller still. I don't know. Alright, so that's still not working. So that sets it on the response, but now we want to set it on the request. What if I say here, within here, request cookies? Let's try that. Clear them all. Run that again. file was that? Scopes to requested. It should be happening in here though. I saved that file, so let's come back here again. Clear those cookies and send. Oh, they're already cleared. Weird. All right, send this through. So it almost looks like I'm not actually. Oh, I didn't dump that with Ray. Oh gosh, Luke, come on, get it together. All right, so let's clear that again. And we'll keep narrowing down until we figure this bad boy out. Cookies, rested cookies does not exist. All right, so that's trying to get cookies not as a method. So let's just try that. And we'll go again. And this is a little bit laggy. I don't know why, but Ray's getting a bit laggy for me. Okay, it's telling me that method does not exist. Weird, I thought I saw it there before. Request. Retrieve a cookie from the request. All right, let's keep searching. So I can set headers, but I can't set cookies? Why would that be the case? Maybe there's some like security thing around that. No, that doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't I be able to set a cookie on the request, but I would be able to set a header? Anyway, let's just try this and see if it actually works. But it looks like they're creating a new request here. So let's just have a look at this. Request headers set. And we'll say here my dash header. And then we'll just do that. And now I'm going to jump back into that file. And just spit out the headers. Let's see what that gives us. Once again, I should have no cookies. Tremendous. Open up Ray. And take this for another spin. All right, so we've got some headers, obviously. And it looks like that header I just set did not get returned back to me. My dash header. Oh gosh. All right, I might end up just stopping this stream and trying to figure out another way. It's probably because I'm totally doing things the wrong way here, where basically the way middleware works is that we've got the request that we can deal with, and then we say next request, and that's actually returning a response here. So we can play around with the request, but then this is where we actually deal with the response. So then I can't say request headers set for some weird reason. Oh, because that's where I'm setting the response there. Oh, this needs to go earlier, I think, so that the response is set to, oh, okay, I probably was just doing things out of order. No issue. hang on, I'm going to keep out this. And hey, this is the lesson to be learned. I mean, like, this is the coding world sometimes. Crap just goes wrong and you can't figure it out, or you just don't have the knowledge. Like, this is frankly me right now. I don't have the depth of knowledge because I've never dealt with this, but now I'm understanding cookies like I never did before. So hey, I see this as a win. I really do see this as a win. Here we go. Now my header is being sent through. Let's try the exact same thing with cookies. Cookies, plural, and see if we can set my dash cookie. By the way, the cookie sent in the... I feel like you can set a cookie by saying like set cookie in the header or something like that. No, anyway. All right, so my cookie, and then I've set it to just something random there. And now what I'll do is I'll jump back in here and see if I can request cookies. And then we'll say new there. Make sure that I don't have any. Send it through again. Okay, we've got a cookie now. Ha! Yes! Yes! This is what I need. Okay, so this was the problem. I was setting the response with next when I had like the cookies command that I'm doing here should have happened first. All right, so let me make sense of this in my mind. It's kind of weird, like hard to wrap your head around middlewares and how they work. So basically what we're doing is we're saying this is the unique ID, and I'm setting it here. UUID is equal to that, and that's on the request. So that's like on the Laravel receiving side of things. When we say next, and then we call the request like this, we are now dealing with the response. So now we're saying the response is going to have that unique ID here. So that means on the request, I can pull it out, and on the response, it should be sent back as well. So my guess is that this is actually going to just work, and I'll be able to even delete that line of code, leave everything as it is, and I think it might actually work if I'm super lucky here. So let's get rid of that, send this through. Aha! Yes! And that's working. So let's come back here and make a GET request, and there it is. So let's make another one now. And it's using that same cookie. Make two more. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there they are there. Sweet, this works. Okay, so let me go ahead and push all of those changes. Git status, git add, dot, git commit, message. What would I call this? Fixed initial cookie bug. Let's go with that. Not super descriptive, but I think it'll do. So we're going to push that, and I reckon this might actually work now. So I'll give that a moment to just send through and let Forge do its magic thing. Now we can like cull some of these pages. Cull. I'll go back to you later. Cull, 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 cull. Sweet. So that's going to be deployed in a second. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Okay, so we're getting nothing on to-do list there. However, let's go back into the app that I created. So I'm going to get out of this and just cross my fingers and just hope that it's all solved now. Open up the terminal. We're going to cd into Quasar getting started guide. Open that in code. We can close this out now. Jump out of full screen and just whack that on the side like so. Whack that on the side. Quasar dev to start up our app. Throw that over there. And then I think it's just going to be, yeah, 8080. So let's say, I'll just wait till it's done. There we go. Cool. So we have nothing in our list. Now if I create one, my item, and we make it blue, something like that. It shows up, so that's cool. Refresh the page, and let's see if that still works. It does not work. Do we have a cookie that's being set? It should be setting a cookie for us. So let's say application cookies. There might be some rules around here because of HTTP slash, because we've got HTTP here, but HTTPS for the cookie. That would be my guess as to why it's not being set properly. Bugger, so I need to find a solution to that. Is it making a request? It's making a request and it's sending through the UUID. So let's try it again. There we go. So it's sent it through. But it looks like the cookie has not been set. So how is it even sending that through? Weird. Okay, so obviously the UUID is being set, but on the response it's not being set because it's not HTTPS. Crap, does that mean that users are going to have to use a HTTPS application in order for this to work? That's all right, we're just going to have to do a bit more experimenting. So how about this? Let's see if we can make this HTTPS by saying secure true. So let's go to dev, a dev server. Was a dev server maybe? Yep. Let's set that equal to true. I think that might make the cookie work. The other thing is I think I need to change the scope of the cookie as well to basically say, hey, you can use this anywhere in the application. Make it like a really loose cookie. The good thing is once this is figured out, I can make APIs like this all over the place whenever I want. It'd be super cool. Yes. Proceed to localhost. Let's try this again. So that's created it. Refresh the page. But we are not getting any cookies set on here. All right, and I reckon that the reason is it's not cross-domain. So let's look up cross-domain cookie. To get the cookie from domain 1, but all right, so now we run into the sort of the CORS world. Okay, so I might be able to test this on my side by simply going to API, where is it? The Axios library here, and changing this to .test so that we're using the test API. And then I'll open up my other application here. Why is that going on top? Yeah. CD quasarcast.com CD to do API. Open that in Visual Studio Code. Jump out of there. Actually, we might leave this in full screen. So let's see if this is going to work for creating one. Just to test that. All right, and it's lightning fast now, of course. Cool. So this is giving me a really good replication environment. Let's go to application. So the cookie's not being set, but we might be able to say here, first of all, oh gosh, I hate doing all of this stuff. Axios dot, what's it called? Default dot with credentials is equal to true. So it still probably won't work, which is what I would expect. But it's using the with credentials mode. So now I go back to this application, which is the API. And now we want to go into our CORS config. Okay. Let's come down here. Supports credentials is set to true. Allowed origins is anything. So that should work. I actually would have thought that that would have worked. why am I not getting that cookie set? This determines what may execute in web browsers. This determines what cross-origin operations may execute in web browsers. Yep, all paths, all methods, all origins. And support credentials is set to true. So that all looks fine to me. Perhaps it is on the front end. Perhaps we're not setting the request right on the front end. Are we doing like the whole pre-flight thing, that whole pre-flight thing that I don't fully understand? It looks like we are. Yeah, for to-do lists. Ah, it's setting the domain there though. That doesn't look right. So, okay, so maybe it's the domain with the cookie. Within your Ajax request, you need to include two parameters. Cross-domain should be equal to true. Okay, so I'd say that I have not got cross-domain set to true. So if we go to headers here, there's nothing about cross-domain being set to true. What else did they say? Now that part should be set to true for us. I'm pretty sure that's handled when we say with credentials. XHR fields. Anyway, let's start with this one by setting cross-domain to true. And I think I could say axios.defaults. Something about headers. Headers is equal to, and maybe that's an object. I assume it would be cross-domain. And let's set that equal to true and see if this works. Man, a lot of tiny little things we need to do to figure this out. Set the cookie. Not seeing that cross-domain. Oh, here we go. Cross-domain true. Now let's refresh that. And let's see if that cookie is set. I bet you it's not. All right, what else do I need to do? Apparently I need to set that XHR fields. I don't even know what that does, to be honest. Which worries me. I'd rather spend some time understanding that. So I might do that in a second if this works. Let's refresh it. And we lose that again. So let's get application. And once again, we don't have that cookie. So why is it failing to set that cookie? We can basically check against all of them now. I guess that'll help. So let's throw that over there. And I want to view this request. Access control, allow credentials is set to true. What's the other one? Allow origin. Origin domain. Yeah, okay, that should work fine. Because it's allowing all origins on the server, I'm pretty sure. And we've got here... Oh wait, this is the response headers. I have to look at the request headers. Cross-domain true. No, wait, that's... Oh, hang on. That's saying that's what I need server-side. On the server-side, you need to have those. Within my Ajax request, cross-domain is equal to true. Yes, and XHR fields. With credentials, true. That doesn't look right. The fact that that's set to object. Let's get rid of this XHR fields thing. I mean, with credentials has already been set true there. I'm pretty sure that's the same thing they're talking about. Um, hmm. Oh, we need to have a title in there. Application. Once again, that cookie was not set. So maybe the problem actually lies on the cookie itself. We've got like a cookies config. No, let's go to our .env. Have we got anything like cookies related? Oh, actually, I'm in the wrong. Hmm. Oh, that origins, that should be. I don't know. Let's just set both of these to all just to see what happens. Oh, just like punching in the dark right now. Let's try that one. I think that's going to be the same thing though. Oh man, CORS issues. So then the question is the server the problem or am I the problem? In fact, what do I get when I go to the type your code one? Oh, that's going to be different because it doesn't deal with cookies. Make that large again, come back here and just whack that in there. I don't get it. What is this XHR fields thing? With credentials, true. Hmm. Oh, this might tell me this set cookie was blocked because it had this. Ah, okay. So it's got to do with this same site equals lax. Laravel same site lax. All right. Let's have a look here. The latest default now, same site cookies. Okay, that's in session. So let's go session. Oh, whoops. Once again, I'm in the wrong one. So let's go into session.php, same. How your cookies behave when cross-site requests take place and can be used to mitigate. Okay, by default, we will set this value to lax since this is a secure default value. Okay, so let's find out the difference between all of these. Just to make sure that I'm selecting the right one. Okay, if your cookie should be restricted to a first party or same site context. Lax. Cookies are not sent on normal cross-site sub requests. For example, to load images or frames, but are sent when a user is navigating. Okay, so when they're going to the site, strict cookies will only be sent in a first party. Okay, none. Cookies will be sent in all contexts. Sounds like that's what we want. Yep, that is what we want. We want to set that equal to none. So basically that lax is enforcing that cookies are only being sent on the same site. So let's try that. Let's see what happens. We've got a cookie now. I'm not seeing one. Nope. Oh. Oh, that worked. Wait, did it? Really? Why am I not seeing that cookie, though? Cookies. Show me the cookies. Oh, well, it looks like this is working. I mean, I'm not going to complain. Sweet. Okay, so now let's try pushing that to production. Git status. Check that's the only thing I updated. Oh, okay, that's right. CORS. This is why you always do a git status. And let's save that and just test it again. Refresh the page. What's going on here? All right, that's working. Oh, looks like I need to fix something there with that button. Cool. So let's just try creating one again. Blue. Whoops. Clicked out of it. Create. Refresh the page. Nice. Nice. Okay, this is working. So now I can say git status. And now it's only changed that file. Change cookie type to... One minute. Change cookie same site to none. How about we say from lax to none? Push that, and I reckon that this is going to work now. This is very exciting. I'm going to be so glad to be able to not have to worry about this anymore. I'm going to get out of that and be optimistic and assume that it's going to work. Also, I'm not sure I need all of this now. Oh, I probably will need cross domain actually. There's cross domain. Anyway, we can play around with it and just see what works. So refresh that page. That still works. Get rid of that. Save it. Refresh the page. It's still working. That works fine. I'm pretty sure getting rid of that will not work though. Yeah, so that's going to give me... We need to make sure that we are actually using credentials, which allows us to do a CORS request. All right, I'm super, super excited about this. So now let's change this from test to .com to the official online one. And that's probably pushed by now. I'm going to assume that it pushed okay. Or let's just go here and check. Looks like there were no errors. Otherwise, we get a little notification. And now let's say my list. Let's make it blue. Create that. We need to add spinners and all that, but we'll do that later on. Refresh the page. Nice. Okay, so that's now pulling from our official server. In fact, I wonder what will happen. I wonder if it will keep those cookies if I say, for example, Quasar, let's say, to do API. Yeah, it does. That's very, very cool. So let's add another one here. My other example. And you know what? The great thing about this is now all I have to do when I'm teaching state is teach them the create list aspect. We don't have to do any of the getter stuff. So we create that. All right, we don't have to do any of the stuff where you refresh the page and it gets it automatically. Then I can say open a new tab, refresh the page, and you're going to note that it has now added that new one to the list. So and then I could say in the next video, I'll actually show you how to then display all of those items. This is so exciting. I'm so glad that I've finally got this done. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be so cool. The user doesn't even need to install an API. All they have to do is include that, and it is just going to work. Wow. And then the code, after they've included that, is pretty simple, because all they'll have to do is, and what's this? This is the create list button. All they have to do is send this request. It's probably sitting in an action, actually. Yeah, it's literally just like a get request to to-do list or a post request to to-do list. Like, how stupid simple is that code? And it's going to be working with an API that's sitting on the web. I'm so excited to finish this series. Anyway, I'm going to take a break. This has been this has been a bit of a challenging session, but we got through it in the end. Thanks to those of you who've stayed. Hope you enjoyed watching me plow through this. And yeah, I look forward to working on store stuff in my next video. And I think this is going to be a stellar getting started guide when it's finished. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later on. And by the way, if you like this kind of stuff, check out quasarcast.com/register. And when you finish registering, if you'd like to register and see like some of my cleaner videos, not my streaming, this holds like a lot of my sort of cleaner videos on how to do Quasar related stuff. Yeah, and then answer the question on the next page, which will be, hey, what kind of videos do you want me to build? So that I know what people actually want me to build, and I can build what you guys actually want. So yeah, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in a future stream.